Hey guys, it's Diah. I just want to have a real talk with y'all today. Um, it's getting hard to upload these videos, or at least it's getting hard because maybe I haven't been doing it the way I've been wanting to, or at least I don't know. This isn't the way I want all this to go. But more than that, it's more of just like I guess I'm not satisfied with the type of videos I'm making. I created this channel with like the intent of like I guess helping people and like anybody who was to come across my channel to maybe I guess like relinquish any worries that they might have about themselves or like just see somebody else trying to I guess go through the motions of everything, of life, of our problems, of just a lot of things. But more and more as I do this, I'm starting to realize that I guess the enjoyment is in making the videos. But if I'm not enjoying making the video, I just can't. I just can't put that out, and it just doesn't feel right. I just recorded, a Star Wars video. Not Star Wars. It was a Jedi Fallen Order. Me just talking about, trying to care. Just try to give off a good message. Just being like, it's you have to care. It's cool to care. Not cool to care, but it's good to care. And not caring just only takes you so far. But as make trying to make the video and all that, it's just like doesn't start flowing. When the video's not flowing, it's just hard to make go through with it. Hard to start it, and it's hard to I guess commit to the end to it. But I don't know. This is something I'm struggling with right now, which is like I guess finding my niche, but more than that, just like finding my content style and like what works. I feel like this is really easy. This is very simple. This is me just picking up the microphone and starting pressing start and record, and boom, video done. Not video done, but video started. And it's very weird. It's very weird, making something, and then like halfway through just being like, yeah, this just isn't good enough. Or this isn't what I want. This isn't just isn't it. And I've had a couple videos now where it's starting to get like that, it's starting to get to the point where I'm just like, oh, I don't like that, I'm not happy, and then it might just be part of the creative process, but I don't know. It's making me feel weird because I'm not putting more time into this, and it's the time I do put into it. I start to feel like it's not worth it, or I feel like it's not going the right way. Does anybody else relate with this in some way? I know other people have like their sports or their art, and I could see how you know just like you making the same, not the same, but trying to make like a drawing, and it's like you're like, screw it, I'm just gonna make this one, and then halfway through you're like, no, I don't like it. Let me just make another one. And you started another one, and you finish that one quicker, and you're just like, yeah, that one's not as good. The thing that always pops up in my head, quick little reference. Let's start here. Lil Yachty, sung before "Drive Me Crazy." I think "We Saw the Sun." There's a at the end of the song. There's a little monologue, a little piece, a little part, and it's Bob Ross. He's painting. Oh, yeah, It's in the song. It's more him describing him painting, a picture. And he's just like, you know, we start when we started painting. We have like this like almost like this preconceived notion. He's like, you know, you have this idea, you want to do it this way, and then just keep getting frustrated. You're not enjoying it, and it's getting to you. And the one thing that he says, he says, just let it happen, and just let it happen, and just like, because you could be sit there, worrying about a painting, but while you're over there sitting about it, you could have completed just like a bunch of other random ones. Maybe not good enough. Maybe it's not right, but you sitting there worrying about the painting isn't doing the painting. And no matter what, after all that sitting, and whenever you finally feel ready to get up to make that painting, it's still probably not even gonna be good. So I guess it's more like that. I'm trying to push that with my videos. Just let it happen and pick it up whenever I feel like it. Try not to make it like a hassle or a chore or like something not enjoyable. Because, me sitting here talking to a microphone, talking to you, is a lot more easier than just me. I feel like me playing the game and me talking, it's like I have two different like styles clashing there. It's like I want to play the game and like show you guys, me doing really good, or me having a fun time on a game. But it's like, I mean, it's not really necessarily about the gameplay. It's about, what I'm talking about. Then because I'm in like, the gameplay mode, I'm thinking about the game. I'm not, it's hard for my words to start flowing. It's hard for me to, because I keep up with that. But then it's just like, I'm starting to think like, okay, if I pivot away from the gameplay, if I pivot away, I focus on maybe like what I'm speaking or what I'm saying, then how can I make that interesting? How will I make that interesting and worth watching for somebody who could just watch somebody else commentate about the same problems? How can I stand out? And it's hard, bro. Like, I don't know what sets me out from the rest of everybody else. I'm trying to think like, what could I do with my channel, my I guess my tools that I have right now. What could I do with what I have right now to put me, well, I guess to push me down the path I want to go down, or like push me further. I want to take those. I've taken the first couple steps, and while they were hard and they were challenging, it was still the beginning. It's so hard to start, right? But once you start and you get going, it's very easy to stop. It's very easy to not, commit with things or not push through. Especially right after you just climbed a whole mountain to even get to the actual mountain, So that's what it really feels like right now. I did all this hiking, all this treading, I'm sweaty, I'm cut up, I'm a little bruised, and I did all of that just to get to the start of the real mountain. That's what I'm doing right now. And I'm looking at that mountain right now, and I'm just like, oh Lord, like like I don't know if I can do this. I guess is that where the fun comes from? Is that where the thrill comes from? Is that why when you get to the end of that mountain, you see some YouTubers, like some content creators, just like they're just so flat, they're so tired, and they're so just like done. And I'm thinking about like PewDiePie. He's basically a part-time YouTuber at this point. He's full-time dad. No, I'm not knocking him or anything. I'm just more like saying that you could see that that same passion isn't there. And I mean, I guess he doesn't need it. No, he knows the system and he knows like how to do it. He knows everything. He knows what he's got to do. He knows how to drop a hit video. He knows that if he drops shit, then it's probably shit, and it's gonna be fine. You know, low key, like, oh, like I see these, there's a bunch of mid videos on YouTube. I watch a lot of YouTube, and I feel like most videos are just so mid. And, I like. It's just my preference. I like, some longer form content. I like watching Wendigoon. He likes talking about Colts. I've been watching his 4.5 hour almost video essay about the entire Call of Duty Modern Warfare series. And that's entertaining. And I guess he's just talking to a camera about like, a whole bunch about the story really. And I could do that, but then you start to think about, all that editing and all that effort and like all the small stuff, like that 1 10-second clip I know it took more than 10 seconds to find and edit in and then, flow it in correctly, cut it in correctly. And it's just, I guess it's really the editing side that's really getting to me right now. It's more like, I don't like the editing part. I don't. I don't like that's why I try to make it as simple as possible. These videos, I'm just sitting here recording my home screen and just like, just chilling. But, I just like immediately go into my editing, like I cut out the beginning a little bit to make it, not just like entirely silence. And then I add a little, fade out transition at the end to, I guess like just show that the video's ending, I guess. I don't know. But that's really about it. And then any other cuts that are in the video are just like, anything I don't like, any like long pauses or huge stutters. But even then, like low key, I don't even be editing like that, bro. Like I'll have like maximum like on an average video like 4 or 3 cuts, something like that. Some videos, like the Elder Scrolls video, I had to cut, and yeah, it's cool, but I don't know. It's just that the editing process is very disheartening and it's very, unmotivating. And I'm just like, oh, I don't want to do that. Like, bro, if I had like an editor who could like see my vision, just be like, yeah, bro, just like you can just record and then I got it. I know how you want your video style. And that would be perfect, But obviously, that's not how it works. That's not how it works at all. It's so weird, bro. Cause damn, I want to put out so much more for you guys. But the end of the day, it isn't really about you guys. It's about me and it's about my need to have something accomplished. Have something that's mine and creative because I'm scared that my future will be just at a dead end office job with people I hate and a sucky maybe relationship at home. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like screwing everything up. I hope not. I want to be in a nice stable environment with the people I enjoy being around me. And doing things I enjoy. And sure, we can have the menial, boring stuff of the day. That's never gonna leave. But no, what kind of content should I start making, y'all? Or at least like, how can I adjust my content? Because I'm starting to think now maybe I should just make more audio commentary, more focused videos. That would require a bit more editing, and I've just been talking about editing this entire time, so who knows? Like a couple ideas I had, it was like not like a little Uzi documentary, but like a little tribute video to Uzi. Maybe I could do a video game, a little essay or like a little theory talk about it, just some random, some crazy or some just chill. I don't know, but it's just like how am I gonna how am I gonna do that? Maybe I could just grab. I could if I'm gonna talk about a game or like something surrounding the game. I could just get a bunch of footage from the game and voiceover. I don't really know how to do a voiceover, but I guess I could always search it up. And yeah, that could be it. Or maybe I could, record a gameplay and then just talk over it. I talk during it. But that's harder. That's harder to just do that. So maybe it's better to just record over, voice over some gameplay, or maybe it doesn't have to be that complicated. I could just start small, maybe just like I said, if I wanted to talk about a game, just boom, just go on the game and just like record a bunch of gameplay and then make my video. But it's like, how long would I make my video anyways? I think around the 30-minute mark. I think 30 minutes is a good length. Perfect amount for somebody that wants to go on lunch or is on a break. And, enough where people who don't really watch long form content can watch about half of the video and still, get the gist. So it's like, what would I even talk about? I'm really into Star Wars right now. As you can see, got 3 Star Wars games right now I've been playing. Something like that. I think I might start making videos like that rather than the whole, need to speak to the camera about problems and then see if or like, because that's more like of the people that I like, more of the Zergy show, more of the Nico channel. While I respect that type of content or like that style, I don't know if I can do it, or at least like I don't know if I can stick to it and make it, my thing. Maybe my thing is me talking about Five Nights at Freddy's lore. I like spoken like a child. That might be me. Who knows? Or it might be how Risk of Rain is one of the best roguelikes, like right now. Or something, just something like that, how I remember before what type of channel I figured I wanted to be. I was going to be almost like a COD Zombies channel because of BO6 was kind of popping off. And I was like, maybe I could sneak my way through that. But, BO6. But maybe I could make a few zombies videos. I love watching zombies. And maybe I could make like a whole zombies retrospective about... what could I talk about? Maybe I could talk about how Origins defined a generation. How BO2 just... how Transit really, shows like something, less about aesthetics and more about, the impact on people. I feel like, because sure, I'm not really one to like pay attention to scenery and stuff like that, maybe like small stuff like that. But I could talk about how it, affected me or X, Y, and Z and all that. I got some ideas cooking, but because I won't know until I start them. But what's in my head? I think the next video I make will be like almost like a commentary type esque. Commentary type about something a little bit more edited. I think I need to put a little bit more effort. Maybe I shouldn't expect myself to record a video and upload it and edit it at the same day anymore. Maybe I can give myself a little leeway where I can, edit the video. I can record the video and then edit it the next day and then upload it the next day, give myself more time. But then I know myself with time. Second I get a little bit of time, I just waste it doing a bunch of BS. So who knows? Anyways, I gotta wrap this up. This is Diah, episode 2 of the Diah and Noche podcast. Maybe, hopefully. I don't know, but you know what? I recorded this video a lot better than I recorded the Star Wars video I was recording just before this. But if you're enjoying this, if I know you and you're just like, God, what is this guy's talking about, bro? He's BSing. But I don't know. I'm just glad that you're here, you're listening, and you know what? I wish you a good day, good afternoon, good night, whatever you're doing. All right, peace out.